Hi, my name is Shay, and today we're gonna talk about the Ottoman Empire. Cut! Okay, again. Hello guys, my name is Shay, and today we are gonna talk about the Ottoman Empire. And well, literally, I'm gonna do this in a video of the Ottoman Empire, and I hope you'll enjoy this. Okay, let's get into it. Alright, so the Ottoman Empire was where a lot of people lived, and those were the origins of the Turkish people. Now, you might understand about this, but you might not. And before the Ottoman Empire, there was a thing called, those are just Turkish people, and I'm just wanting to say that even if the Turkish people ever survive, which they did, they'll make an empire, and well, bye-bye. And they did that. And this is where Osman the First comes in. And this is his name, Osman the First. And he was generous, and he's a nice guy. And his charismatic nature, how is that even a word? It is now. Earned him a lot of friends. And then later one day he had a dream, and he went to his holy man Shabbat. And he said, A tree grew from my navels, and its branches covered the whole world. And then the holy man said, well, congratulations! That means you're gonna be the ruler and the founder of a great empire. Also, you can have my daughter. And they married. And later there was also another thing happened. And later Osman the First came into power, and then he lined up his friends, and he went up for a force. Later, his forces were so strong that even the Mongols, the ruler of the citizens of Genghis Khan himself, went away. Screw that. And later, after that, Osman started an empire. And then he got his daughter, he got his son, and then his son became the first ever sultan. Yes. Really. And later he got his own son and blah blah blah, the rest. Okay, so there was a lot of things happened to the Ottoman Empire. I'm gonna go through the ancient times to all through the modern age. So it's gonna be less than 10 minutes probably, but still. Alright, let's get started. Alright, I already started the video just for telling about the Ottoman Empire, and this is actually the foundation of the Ottoman Empire. Now let's go on. Alright, and then later, coming back on, unpausing, and later going back on to other places like, vast lands, there was a lot of things that happened. And first they had their first ever conquest, and for their luck, it rained. It's not very hard to draw rain though, but I'm not gonna do this because I'm not an animator. Anyways, to their luck, the Ottomans' luck, it rained, giving them enough strategies and blockades so that they can conquer stuff. And then there were a lot of things happening later in life. And then there were a lot of sultans until the 10th sultan, who reportedly said he became sultan in 925 AD, I mean AH. In the West it was 15 something, but for the sultan it was 925 because he was 25 years old and he was born in 900. Yes. So he was literally born in the early 10th century. Yeah. And that's when Suleiman the Magnificent came into power. And his father was Suleiman the Stern. He was arrogant, and in the slightest, even the itty-bittiest mistake would mean execution, like wrong book. And then he would kill the person who gave him the wrong book. And he's like, wrong type of salt, and then he would just kill the person who gave him the wrong type of salt. Yes, that was unfortunate. So he was named the Stern, and then he killed his brothers, killed Suleiman's brothers, and leaving only Suleiman left. And Suleiman later learned that this was a law, so he didn't like it at first, and he ended up killing the brothers for Selim II. Now the older brother, older sons usually become a sultan, the next sultan. However, However, well, Suleiman loved his son so much, even his oldest son Mustafa, who sometimes were very hard to engage with. And later, sometimes he kind of raged after, and then he couldn't bear it because he wasn't dead yet, and Mustafa was out to lead them. And then he killed Mustafa himself. And then later, he only had Salim and his favorite son, and also even his other middle son now. And his youngest son died of a disease, and then he only spared Salim the second. And he was left. Before even Salim II was even served and also spared, his favorite wife, who was part of the harem part, the private places of the women part he married with, called Roxolani, died. And he was heartbroken, and he said that it was like a coal burning in his heart. That's cheesy. And we're skipping a few centuries after 600 centuries, there was a lot of things that happened. In 1914, the First World War began. And then the empire had to go out into the war. Actually, the war wasn't still yet. They wanted to enter the world, but they needed allies there. And here were their options. Welcome to another episode on... No, again. Okay, I'm gonna pretend myself as a kind of person who just does it. Welcome to another episode on like getting partners and stuff, and then like I really am not aware that I would use another video, which I am not. So just work with me here. And today we have an Ottoman Empire who needs a friend. So first there's Russia, and let's see what he rates. I just want Constantinople, and for you to be my puppet. No, not that one. Next, we have France. I'm just a fun-loving gal who wants to help you out. By the way, I'm best friends with Russia. Nope, not that one either. And finally, we have Germany. My parents are never at home. What? Again, my parents are never at home, and I'm dummy good at making railroads. I mean, the Ottoman Empire should get what it can. Jesus. Okay, so the alliance with Germany was done. But an alliance with Germany needed food. So all men in the Ottoman Empire were sent out to go out and get farm food. And they were ordered to pack 3 days a meal. And then they were reported to the near construction office they can. However, when all those farmers came to the construction offices at the same time, all the officers could not do any deal with them. So most of the men ate their 3 days of food and just went home. And that was an even bigger problem than you might think, because without all those farmers, the crop harvest failed, and the whole empire was plunged into a famine. Except those 3 days filler guys, because they were not hungry. Kind of. Yes, they are hungry. And then later they would do a lot of wars. And then later in 1914, the real rulers, the Sultan was a figurehead now, the real 3 rulers of the Ottoman Empire made sure that they got into the war. And when they did a lot of fighting, and they were on against the Allies, the English, the French, and all of those guys. And then later they were fighting until they lost territory from the Russians. And then the Russians later had to give all those territories back. And then later they had to resign and they surrendered to their war. And that's it. And World War II, they never joined it. Probably. I'm not so sure about World War II yet, but if there is, and yes, I remember now, the World War II people even joined the battles again, and they did not even like it. They already fought the Balkan Wars, and also they fought they also fought the World War I, and why would they want to do it again? World War II. They just did it. And, ba-bum. They were part on Hitler's side again. And well, that's it for today, and I hope hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, hit the bell button if you haven't yet, and also hit the like button or the unlike button, neither of them. And also you can follow me on, well, my email account 20jor@naver.com. And if you want to keep these videos free for everyone, or to donate money for so I can make more of these videos, please go to my Patreon page, which is Shun Everything. Shun Everything. Here it is. It is www.patreon.com/Shun Everything. www.patreon.com/Shun Everything. Visit there so you can donate your money to me and I can make more videos. And I hope I'll see you next time, and I'll see ya. Shunan.